Okay, guys, thank you so much. Once again, we are just about set up for our second bingo match. Please welcome in, oh man, everybody. Heekin, Jerky, Sickly, and Xenoras.
Hello.
Hey there.
Thanks for having me again.
How's everyone?
Welcome, everybody. Oh, whoops. This is, okay, no problem. I'll sort this out later. So we're about to get ready with with our second bingo match here. Let me just prepare the card, and then Jake, you can do the countdown to the reveal.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. We can reveal it now in chat, but yeah, the racers are going to mute obviously their mics and deafen the mics so that they don't have any idea what's going on.
Yes.
We'll see you guys
So
on the other
guess
side.
we're doing this now.
See you later.
See ya. Good luck.
Good talk.
Okay. All right, cool. So, let me just reveal this card for the viewers. There we go.
All right. Got the right card. Good start.
We're already 100% better than the last one.
Let me know whenever we can start. I'll ask them if they're ready.
Okay, we are ready. Ready when ready.
We'll just make sure they're ready in chat. All right. They're both ready. We're going to count them down. And they are off.
Okay,
Let's go.
let's go.
Okay. So, what do you see on the board?
Early objective, complete when they
Yeah.
start without dashing, potentially.
Yeah,
If they're
two
really
one-ups could
confident.
be done relatively early.
There's a 1-up in 2 chapters also.
1-up and 2 1-up, yeah, that's good.
There's
There's
some
also
synergy right
2B. There's also 2B.
2B. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting.
Hmm.
I would assume that the 1-ups are going to take priority over 1A start without dashing. Just because they're both easy and it's
Yeah,
2 objectives.
probably.
Right after
And it
that.
always works for like berry stuff. I don't know if there's global berry count stuff. This doesn't seem to be, but
There's 15 berries in 2 chapters, which
Yeah.
could take into effect like 1A, 2A.
Yeah,
Are both like very quick.
definitely.
Also, something like all collectibles 5A could work into that as well. So it depends on how they want to route that.
Looking at this board, what would you what would you go for first?
Probably the 1-ups, I think.
Yeah,
Seems to
probably
make the
either
most
that
sense.
or is there any like advantage to rush 4A, for instance? 4A
There's a
has
lot of-
grabless start and grabless cliff face.
Those are both good. There's also complete 3A sides. So if you
Yeah,
just do 1A,
yeah.
2A, 4A, that would be
Yes.
really nice.
That's
This is definitely looking like a ridge board. There's also 3 seeded berries. So for
Yeah.
those of you who are a bit who might not know where the seeded berries are, it's 2A, 4A, 5A, and 7A. So kind of doing chapters like 1, 2, 4, and then 5. You kind of rush some of the quick objectives, rush the ridge objectives, and then also get something like 3 seeded berries.
especially since like 5A seeded berry is like in the way of the cassette, so it also works towards progress.
It's
also
perfect.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
So I really like those boards where it's very divided on if you should go to B or to A, and because those kind of boards really like divide like really create 2 paths for the players early on.
It looks like Xeno is gonna go for start without dashing. It looks like
Yes,
Jerky
and
is
Jerky
going for the
is
1-ups.
doing the 1-up. So okay.
He has 5. He could just be going for the 1 up here and another 1 up
Okay,
in
yeah.
in 2A.
Yeah, I think that's what it is gonna do. So far, I would say it favors a bit jerky because
agree,
of
for
what
sure.
we discussed, but it's like really subtle for now.
Oh, whoops. We have green. Oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, wait.
Blue. Who's blue? Who's red?
Whoops. Was that something in the settings that I probably should have clicked?
I think that's just the color he picked instead of red on accident.
I'm not sure.
So, okay, so that's Xeno. All right.
So yeah, Jerky is purple and Xeno is green.
Another
Moonberry
thing about
Cup,
the
ladies and
2B
gentlemen. Moonberry
routing,
Cup.
I think I would prefer to do 2A just because...
Because of 3 A sides, right?
3A sides, I would think, is a little bit stronger, especially with the seeded berry and the 1-up.
And the 1-ups. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one.
But if Xeno's not doing the 1-ups and he sees that Jerky is already going for them, he might just say, all right, let me collect the seeded berry and then go play 2B instead.
Maybe also a good call.
Is there a way to
It
change
depends
the
on how he wants to
colors,
go
or are they just... can we do it manually for them?
On bingo,
Oh,
you
no,
have to ask them to change.
They would have to do it.
Okay, that's fine. It's no big deal. As long as we know who's who, then we can. I can keep the numbers updated.
That every time they tick an objective, we just untick it and retick it with a
until
different
they
color.
get the right color.
But that might be a little bit difficult to keep track of.
Yeah, this is fine.
So what Xeno is doing is actually he collected the seeded and he's completing 2A, which is also really good.
Yeah, because if he can beat Jerky to 3A sides, it's still gonna work out for him.
Yeah, and he's gonna beat him to 3 seeded too if things keep going this way.
And he's going for the 1-up in 2 chapters as well. Ooh, did he just collect a berry?
Yeah, Jerky collected a berry by accident.
Ooh.
There's plenty of berries in 2A, so I don't think that's too big of a deal.
He collected 2. It's still fine because there's one here and then one right underneath. So that would still give him 6.
Perfect.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
there you
works. Does he delay? No, he collects. He ticks right after, so he's at 2.
Playing through the 2A 1-up is basically just playing through 2 ARB. It's the same thing. It collects itself.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually. So yeah, so okay. So now Jerky has 2 objectives, but Xeno has a quite significant lead in progress.
I think this is going to work out for him pretty well because he's got an advantage in the 3A sides and the 2 grabless checkpoints for 4A.
Yeah.
Neither of them are...
And the 3 seeded.
And the 3 seeded, you're right. No.
Yeah, so...
This is something
that's
that
probably the better
snowball
play.
into his favor.
Is there any, like... interest in going into 3A instead of 4A? I really don't think, right?
I don't think there's enough there. I mean, there's 2 huge mess orders and a Pico objective, but it would put you behind on 3A sides. It wouldn't give you a seeded berry, and it would put you behind in progress. Yeah. So it's just probably something that would be good in more like a mid-game setting, but...
Yeah, definitely. Especially there's no winged berry stuff. Like 3A is basically synergize well with winged berries. And, well, there's none in this board.
Did we lose the streams?
I'm sorry.
Oh, they're back.
Are you good? Okay.
Nice.
Oh, they're gone.
Oh, hello?
Oh, they're back.
Oh. Hello? Please, is this Celeste?
I think we're okay.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Hang on. You might lose it for a second here again. Let me... Just testing something.
So it looks like Xeno is going for 4A start without grabbing, which is a good objective to go for, especially if he thinks that he got here first, which by not going for the 1-ups, he should be pretty confident that he got here first.
But then it was a good call from Jerky to not go for it, and he can now catch up a bit on progress. He might lose this objective, but...
And there's also cliff face berries, So if Jerky thinks that Xeno is going to go for the grabless objectives, he can just go for the berries instead.
Yeah, definitely.
Also doing it grabless. Xeno not going for the seeded berry.
Oh yeah. And well, Jerky is not. Oh, Jerky realized and is going for it now.
Oh, 2 and 2 now.
So now it's gonna be 2 seeded for Jerky and only 1 for Xeno. Xeno might just have forgotten about it.
He might have.
Because it's really a short like time investment, and I think it's pretty much always worth it when there's 3 on the board.
Mm-hmm. This board is interesting because they seemingly are going on similar routes, but there's different paths you can take within the same chapters. Like, do I want to go for the grabless? Do I want to go for the berries? So even though they're on the same path, they've been doing very different things.
Yes, I agree on that. So what would you do after? I think like go straight into the cassette and the seeded berry and go play 5B. There's also blue and red in temple, but I don't think you should go for the blue heart right away because it takes a long time and gets you behind in progress.
But there is blue heart on the board itself.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So that could be interesting because there's blue heart and all collectibles 5A.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see that.
5A could be very strong on this board if you do it correctly.
Yeah, but you need blue and red in temple. Blue and red in temple is an objective, so you also need 5B somewhat.
Grabless cliff face plus berries cliff face, is that possible?
I
think that's what Xeno's going for, both, I think.
Possible? Definitely. Difficult? Yes, very. If he's going for
he's going for that. That's pretty cool. Impressive. That's pretty ambitious. Yeah. I like the play.
He can forego that first berry and just complete it grabless and then go back for it because it's right at the beginning of the checkpoint too.
So what does Jerky? Jerky is doing none, it seems. So he just won the 3-8 sides.
He's going for progress more, yeah?
Yeah. But then, well, if he gets it, then that's a good play by him, but that might be very tight because Xenoras still has a little advantage at the moment.
Grabless cliff face is no joke, especially if you don't have some established strats.
Yeah, but he's past the spring room, which is I think the last hot room.
Yeah.
So I think it should work out really well for Xenoras actually. It was really close. It wasn't one room. They are 1 room apart. But yeah, it takes Grabless cliff face. Oh, and Jerky actually takes 3-8 sides.
Oh.
Wow.
That was just like a race to who could click first, right?
I think so. Very or maybe Xenoras just didn't see it.
That's a very tough lockout. Wait, where's he going? Oh, he's going for the berries.
Yeah.
He's going to finish this up, but this is going to give Jerky an advantage on what he wants to do in 5A. Xeno didn't have the seeded berry, so Jerky always kind of had that advantage on 3 seeded. But he does get to decide if he wants to go for 5A or 5B first, because both of them seem to be pretty solid.
So Xenoras takes 5 berries in cliff face. All berries in cliff face. So it's 4-3 now. With like 30-second lead into 5A for Jerky. Yeah, I think you may want to go for both the cassette and the alt, but then just do the cassette first.
Yeah, I think
that you get the seeded, and
if you're Jerky, you have to think that 3 seeded is going to be a hotly contested objective.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine that going for that first makes sense. I think that going for the blue heart first pass seems to be also fairly strong. I'm not sure if he's going to quit right out to 5B, but I think either way it could be a strong play. Yeah. Because if you go for the 5A heart, you're getting more progress on the 5A objectives and the blue and red. But you're losing out on 5B, and you're going to lose out on some progress.
So it takes off berries. seeded berries. Yeah.
Something like
So-
Reflection Cassette is very quick too. So playing for progress is
Exactly.
very
I
important.
was like considering if it was that worse to go for progress.
The
I
reflection,
think reflection is really good. It has 3 objectives that are relatively fast.
and they all synergize together. I mean,
Yeah.
like bottom root and hollows and Easter egg and reflection. I mean, that's very quick right after each other. So I mean,
Yeah, and then Summit is also has 2 relatively quick objectives, like all berries in 500 and Binos in 1k.
wow, yeah, playing for progress I think is really good on this
Yeah.
board. So Xeno's going
Uh,
straight to 5B, so this
so,
could play
yeah.
out in his favor.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll see how it works.
Jerky would be able to get a lot of the quicker objectives though. I could see him maybe trying to get the 5A objective here, unlock the checkpoint, and
Yeah,
potentially going to something like finishing the blue and red, or going for maybe some of the early objectives like Resort, where there's kind of a grouping of objectives if he doesn't want to play Progress. That could put him at a big disadvantage though, because of the quick
I
reflection.
think so. I think progress is too important, especially reflection there.
And there's some at Blue Heart, so if you let your opponent play Progress and you kind of ignore it, they can just stick to those long objectives and not even worry about it once they're on 11 or 12.
So with this card, it seems like it really is a race.
Yeah, they've been kind of going through the same
Yeah.
chapters, going for similar objectives, but this board is so heavy on late game stuff. That's why we're emphasizing the importance for progress. Because if you let your opponent get too far ahead, they're just going to clean up on some of these reflection and summon objectives, and you're going to fall behind without really a chance of contesting them.
Jerky grabbing the Mirror Temple Blue Heart.
And the unraveling checkpoint. I don't think he should keep going. Maybe I'm wrong. I think after the checkpoint he should like either play 5B or do earlier objectives. I think playing 5B may be the call.
Is it faster to complete 5B from this checkpoint or complete 5A? Probably 5B still.
Should be about even. But it gets you the objective. It
That's
gets
true.
you the blue and red in temple.
This does give you a lot of progress towards some of the later stuff. Like all collectibles 5A, if you collect the rescue berry on this.
The rescue and the unraveling. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
So I
You
mean,
might
this
go
gives you
for
a
it,
ton of
yeah.
progress. So you're kind of giving up that blue and red, but you're also gaining the all collectibles 5A for a long-term goal. I think he's just trying to get to the progress objectives and thinks that this is his best bet. I'd be interested to see if Xeno goes for the blue heart, considering that Jerky has already ticked it off, trying to get the blue and red, or if he just thinks that Reflection and Summit are too strong to give up.
I don't think he should, because he doesn't know if Jerky is playing 5A or 5B now.
That's true.
So like, if Jerky was going into 5B right away, he would get that objective probably. So maybe just wait a bit, and if you don't see a tick off, then at some point it might be good to go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, wrapped up Mirror Temple there. So
Yes.
unlocking Reflection.
Yeah, it's going directly to Reflection. I think it's absolutely the play, because Reflection is just really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 objectives that you can get within 2 minutes, something like this.
I would think that honestly, going for something like Reflection Cassette and maybe quitting out into Summit could be a play. Just scaring off Jerky, saying like, "Look, I'm already in Reflection. Don't go for these objectives. It's a waste of your time." And then trying to sneak out the 2 Summit objectives that are really quick.
That would also be really good.
Because bottom root in Hollows and the Easter egg room are like very quick after each other, but they still take about the same amount of time as something like 500 meter berries and the binos.
And with how it's gonna play, it is very likely if he decides to do that he's still ahead, even if Jerky decides to play Summit right away.
It also depends on if he ticks this off. I'd imagine that
Yeah.
he ticks it off right away, because he doesn't really know where Jerky is.
Yeah, I agree. That would be the safe play.
That's going to give Jerky some information about what he wants to do after he's out of Temple, and what's worth the risk of going into Reflection or going for the summit objectives. He really needs to get one of those two.
Yeah, definitely.
Old Site B is
Definitely.
it's fairly quick, right?
It is quick.
Which one? Yeah.
It is just on this board, it doesn't have a ton of synergy to other objectives.
Mm-hmm.
So once they get through these like really good synergized objectives, they're probably going to start going for the quickest ones they can, try to pick off stuff, and that's going to be something that we'll probably see late game. But when you see something like the two reflection objectives that Xeno is going for right now in Bottom Root Hollows and the Easter Egg Room, or the two summit objectives that both occur before 1,000 meters, it takes a similar amount of time to Old Site B, but you're getting two objectives instead of one.
Right.
So they're just looking for some synergy. Neither of them got the cassette as well for Chapter 2, so they'd have to play through the start of Chapter 2 as well. So I'd expect to see that at some point in this game, but not until a little bit later.
So Jerky is going into Summit, which, like, given the fact that Xeno stayed in Reflection, is a good play.
Yeah. Well, out of these 4 objectives, I mean, he had to get at least 2 of them. So this is going to be really good for his game.
Yes. Also, we have to keep in mind that he kind of have... he has the lead toward 15 in 2, for instance. Because of the 1-ups and...
Yeah, definitely.
Because of the 1-up, basically. And he also has lead towards all collectibles in 5A, because he did get the Berry Unraveling and the Berry Rescue. So he has a bit of an edge towards late game objectives, which might come into play eventually.
I think that after it looks like Xeno is going to be finishing up his objectives first. After this, I think something like Resort could be very strong.
Yeah, I think
There's
so
a bunch
too.
of Resort objectives that you could be going for. 2 mess orders and some Pico stuff, as well as Reach a Library, which is more of a late game objective, but if you display some progress in Resort, then your opponent's probably not going to want to go all the way to Elevator Shaft just for the cassette.
You can at least unlock Shafts, since you have a huge mess order.
Yeah.
And then maybe go for it later. That's a sick backup by Jerky. Oh no, he failed it right after. That's a shame. That was a good attempt. Alright, so... Xenoras is done with 6A. What does he do now? Oh, he's going for the hearts, which is good. Which is good. It's not gonna take that long, and...
Yeah, it's also, he's probably eyeing all collectibles 5A. Because he doesn't really have any indication that Jerky is ahead of him other than that blue heart. He probably thinks that he got to the unraveling checkpoint and then maybe quit out.
Well, he knows that Jerky didn't tick off blue and red, so he knows that he didn't play.
Oh, you're right.
5B.
You're right.
So yeah. So either he played 5A and probably did those collected the easy berries, or he didn't play progress at all. And he's gonna discover that when Jerky eventually ticks the summit objective.
Jerky's still going to have the option to delay a little bit here because of Xeno ticking off all 3 of their reflection objectives. So he could probably delay it by maybe a minute or 2, depending on how risky he wants to play it. But
yeah. I think more than a minute would be a bit risky.
Yeah. A lot of the objectives after this start becoming pretty long, depending on what they want to go for. Something like 5 Keys Power Source, Summit Blue Heart. Some really tough objectives. That's why I think Resort is going to be really important here, because at least while they take a bit, they at least synergize together.
We saw a tick off. What was that? That was all berries in 500 meters by Jerky.
And the binos aren't going to take too long, so he's going to be finishing up pretty soon.
So they're about even in like as being done, having the objective done at the same time. Or kind of. And Xenoras is entering 3A. Which is fine, is gonna have a huge mesh objective and access to Pico 8 and eventually the cassette. Also worth noting that Jerky is going for berries. So he wants Summit to count towards his 15 into.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, if he already had to get a bunch of berries in 500 meters, the berries in 1,000 meters are pretty quick as well.
Yeah, probably. I don't know how much he has at the moment. I would have thought he would go for like 1A and 2A because he also has berry in there for the 1-ups and...
I thought potentially he would go for something like depths or 5A start berries, considering he
maybe
wants
that
to
too,
in 5A.
Yeah. That's an interesting choice, but it might work out because he's already there. So it's gonna be faster for him to get them here. Probably.
I'm interested to see where he goes after Summit, though, because if he goes into Resort, he's going to be in a really tough spot. He more or less has to pick off some of the quicker objectives.
I don't know what else could he do. You could go to 2B, but it's like 2 minutes for one objective, which is fine, but not great.
How many hearts does he have? Does he only have one?
Hearts. He has
something like switch to ice is a really quick objective.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to commit to getting 3 more hearts could be a bit difficult.
Yeah. I think I only had the one.
Alright, what order is he going for? He is going for any percent. Chess books, towels. Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it's objectively the best of the two because the other one isn't either good for alt.
Yeah, no, the other one's pretty bad.
No, it's just bad.
So this is going to put Xeno at potentially 9 objectives here. If he just completes the other resort objectives, he could get all the way up to 12, just on resort alone, if Jerky doesn't touch it. Should be very dangerous.
Yeah, and Jerky is spending a lot of time in Summit now. I'm not sure that was worth it to get all those berries in Summit. Well, first of all, we know that it's not really contested, so that was like objectively not the best play, but he doesn't know that, of course.
Yeah, but just thinking about then, like where you can get the 15 berries.
Yeah.
It just seems like they'd be better with some synergy on the 5A collectibles, or in 1A where they're kind of more densely packed, and he already has 6 of them, so, you know. Or he even has more of that in 2A, because he collected some on the way for the 1-ups. Yeah. I think he has about 8 or 9 there.
Is getting this this gem, did he collect other gems? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I remember him getting 1K gem. Which ultimately synergizes to Summit Blue Heart.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he might as well finish the checkpoint if he has Summit Blue Heart in mind. But it is taking him a lot of time in Summit, allowing Xeno to kind of clean up on these resort objectives. Is Xeno just going to do the other mess order? He's going to go for both of them? Potentially.
Yeah, it seems this way. Oh. Yep, that's what it's gonna do. I mean, why not? It's like about 2 minutes too.
Yeah.
A bit less because you don't have to go all the way towards the checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, he's already got the progress to huge mess, so it's just pretty easy.
Yeah, you might as well.
At the end of this, he could even just go straight into Pico 8. I mean, if Jerky doesn't give him any reason to think that these objectives are being contested, then he can just keep cleaning them up, put him at 11. They put him in a very good spot.
Yeah.
Jerky
he's
likely
going
gonna be.
for hard. Alright, he's taking his 3A objective, Xenoras. That was a pretty long delay. I'm happy finding that it worked out. Because I felt like he didn't have that many. It couldn't have been sure that where Jerky was.
Yeah, especially because Jerky didn't take off an objective for a while. It's feasible that he was in resort at the same time, so a bit risky, but
it
ended up working out. So Jerky gonna be finishing at 15-2 here, as well as trying to get some synergy on 5A collectibles, which makes sense. The problem here is Xeno really hasn't given an indication that he's gone for berries. He wasn't going for the 1-ups. He went for the cliff face berries, so maybe, but that was more of a progress objective than anything else. So while going for 15-2 is good because it works into his game plan, I don't know if it's something that was immediately going to be contested, so...
Yeah, I kind of agree. Now he's kind of behind in objectives. He hasn't done anything to try to lock out, or try to catch up.
Yeah, at this point he's going to have to lock him out of something. Maybe potentially going to resort just for the Pico objective, even. Just trying to nab one of them that's quick, but... If Xeno's just going to go for Pico right after this huge mess order, it's going to be difficult for him to make up some of these objectives. Xeno also, how many hearts does he have at this point? Something like
2, and that might be it, actually.
Well, he has, I think he has 3, because he has Temple Blue Red, and then he just got Chapter 3.
Oh yeah, he just got it, yes.
Yeah, so he could easily get Chapter 2A or 4A.
Yeah.
And go to core for his 12th objective, leaving just a reach library for number 13, which at that point, considering he got the resort objectives, would be more or less uncontested.
Yeah. That could be like game for him, if you realize.
Yeah, I think that him going for the heart really signaled that he wants to at least think about that core objective. Jerky just continuing on these 5A collectibles. I think that he really needs to be prioritizing something that's a bit quicker. Oh, that was his 15th. Okay. All right, now he's returning to map. Looks like we're going to see the 2B play here. This works as an objective and also to get a heart.
And one of the hearts, yes. Which is good, but he's still gonna be behind in hearts, I think.
Yeah, it's good to get the synergy. I think it's a bit too late if Xeno goes directly into core.
Yeah.
Because 10 berries in Pico 8 does not take too long.
It's about like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, I would say. I'm not an expert in Pico.
For 10 berries, if you know what you're doing, it would probably be a little bit faster. He's at what 6 here and a minute in. Jerky, I know, is very proficient at Pico 8, so I'm a bit surprised that he wasn't going for it. He was trying to contest. Now he practiced it on stream.
I don't know. Maybe it was a bait to make Xenoras think that it was going to play Pico.
Potentially. I know they've played each other quite a bit, so...
Yeah. It's always exciting because they have a very similar level.
Mm-hmm.
So always be aware, Pico 8 might be subject to those resets.
Oh no.
Unintentional resets, so it's never...
We'd hope
it's
not.
never given when...
I think that that's a Moonberry right here. Yeah, there it is. So where can Xeno go? I mean, core seems to be the most logical. The rest of them are pretty long objectives. Power Source, Summon Blue Heart. I mean, you really don't want to be going for those if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Potentially.
At some point, if you're at 10 and your opponent has a lower number than that, then that's the safest play, you know.
He's going for 2B.
Oh, no, 2A. 2A. He's getting the heart,
Oh, I thought it was going 2B.
which is good for him, but like bad for the closeness of the match. That's
Yeah.
always.
Delaying the Pico Berries here, I feel like when you have your 11th objective, you might want to just secure that one. All right, now he takes it off. Don't want to let your opponent sneak in and get an objective, especially towards the end of the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking pretty good for Xeno here. Should be able to get this core tick off for his 12th, and then after that, he can multitask very easily.
Yes.
A lot of these objectives are just so long that he can just pick any 2 of them he wants, multitask.
And also, he's the only one that had like progress towards 3B.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very hard for Jerky to come back from here.
Jerky is gonna get his 9th with old side B. He's already has the advantage, a heavy advantage on collectibles in 5A.
Yeah.
10th.
And
he
also
has
made blue heart.
Yeah, and he has the progress there, so it's not
gonna need
impossible.
one more. It's gonna need to contest 3B. And he's going into Farewell now.
He has to contest one of the 2, but Xeno opting for the one that he has the progress in makes a lot of sense.
Yes, definitely.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him multitask just to be safe, but
yeah, just get the cassette and then play the first 2 checkpoints of Farewell. Would be a good call.
Library's pretty quick on, so
yeah, though, yeah.
If he's practiced in 3B, he might feel comfortable just going straight for library. Okay, Jerky going into resort. This is a situation where if Xeno multitasks with the wrong objective, potentially Jerky could come in and steal something. I mean, Xeno might think that he has something going for him in collectibles in 5A because he has the heart and some progress, but I wouldn't bank on it, but you never know what happens in bingo.
Yeah, that's the fun part of it.
Looks like he's just gonna collect the reach library checkpoint.
Yes. That game was actually closer than it looked because of the progress Jerky has towards legging objectives.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
I mean, if you really play this out, it would probably come down to maybe
like 13, 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up on Xenoras realizing his win condition and like executing well.
Yeah. I think it just came down to not contesting some objectives in resort early enough. Even just collecting one of them puts this at a much more difficult win condition for Xeno, because then he has to go for power source keys. A race that if Jerky could win, easily could tilt this game in his favor.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun to see 3B in bingo though. It's not played too much.
Yes, not enough. Not enough.
A really late cassette, no binos. It's not giving a lot of.
Not anything.
It's a really great track as well. 3B.
Yes.
True. Only a couple more rooms left for Xeno though. 2 more rooms.
And there you go. That should be GG.
Big GG to both players.
GG to both players, indeed.
GG. Wow.
GG.
GG. Well played, guys. GG. Wow.
Thank you.
GG. Well played, guys.
Thank you very much.
That was fun. Thanks for taking part in the secondest ever bingo, and big huge thanks to Heekin and Jack for I was just able to kind of sit back and observe there, because I mean bingo is, to me anyway, I've been playing Celeste for a while, but this is like some next level Celeste. You have to really know the game inside and out, know where your checkpoints are. And be able to execute a lot of high level stuff. But I mean, I think bingo, from what I've heard, is accessible to people who want to start playing. You know, you can play against people who are similar skill level, right?
For sure. The only requirement is that you know B-sides pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
because they do play a role in this game, and red berries too. But you don't necessarily need to speedrun all red berries to play bingo. Just know where all the berries are, and that's fine.
As long as you can
And
find
know the checkpoint names, and know some meta stuff, like where the binders are too, maybe.
But even if you don't know these stuff, I mean, if you find somebody who has a similar experience level to you, and you just want to have fun, you just go in and you just learn it together. You kind of figure things out. So at any skill level, you can find something.
Also, there's a bingo cheat sheet with where's everything listed. Every seeded berry, every ring berry, checkpoint names, binos. So if you're interested in that,
as well. That's cool.
Yeah, checkpoint names as well.
Yeah,
very
awesome.
good. Helped me a lot when starting out bingo.
Okay, well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate everybody's help. Xeno, JerkyJerky, Heekin, and Jake, thanks again for taking part in the Moonberry Cup.
Glad to be here.
Thanks to you.
Thanks for having me.
Be here.